Contessa Brewer, thank you for joining us. The FAA is investigating after a British Airways flight aborted takeoff at McCarran Airport in Las Vegas after an engine caught fire. Billowing black smoke and orange flames could be seen pouring from under the plane's wings before about 50 firefighters doused the aircraft. There were, we're told, 172 people on board Flight 2276, a British Airways flight. 159 passengers, 13 crew members, all of them headed for London Gatwick Airport. The pictures have all the makings of a disaster, but there were just 2 minor injuries. They were all safely evacuated, but forced to evacuate from the burning plane off of those emergency slides off the Boeing 777. And the fire shut down at least one runway at the airport. Earlier, I spoke with Dominic Worthington. He was on the plane in business class when it all went wrong.
It was just a bit of a crazy experience, to be honest. We were literally coming down the runway about to take off, and we felt a slight jolt to the left-hand side of the plane, and then there was a bang, and then the plane came to a stop.
And at what point did you realize that the plane was on fire?
It was only literally a couple of seconds after the plane had come to a stop. Obviously, we realised that something was wrong, but then by that point, we could see big, thick black smoke bellowing out from either side of the aeroplane. And to be honest, that was when the crew were absolutely superb. Moved everybody to the evacuation doors, and we all went down the different chutes at different parts of the plane and tried to get away from the plane as quick as possible. While
you were still on board, did the pilot come over the speakers?
The pilot was over the speakers, yeah. They were literally just telling everybody what was happening and instructing everybody that needed to evacuate immediately, and it was pretty scary, to be honest with you. But I think we were lucky that it wasn't a particularly busy flight. It certainly wasn't a full flight. But it's sort of kicking in now, really, what everybody's experienced, I think, today.
Was the pilot able to explain what was happening, or he just said, we have to evacuate the plane?
They literally, we had a matter of seconds, I think, before that could have escalated into something very, very serious. And the captain has just come out and said to everybody that there was a catastrophic error of the engine. And he's just glad that him and his crew were able to get everybody off with only a few minor bumps and bruises, which I think is absolutely outstanding. And the crew and the captain deserve full credit.
Where were you sitting on the plane?
I was literally in the business class section, so towards the front of the plane. It wasn't a particularly busy flight where we were, so we were able to have very, very quick access to the emergency exits.
And can you explain to me what it's like when a flight crew is preparing passengers to evacuate off of those slides?
To be honest with you, you kind of just have to go. It's natural instinct that you want to move away from whenever you see smoke, isn't it? You know, you want to naturally move in the opposite direction, and luckily for us that was towards the front of the plane and down the chute. I'm sure some of the other people that were further back on the flight, it might have been even more scary.
So you were able to sense from your position on the plane that the smoke and the flames were behind you, coming from the engines on the wing?
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, it was quite evident from when the plane took a little jolt to the left that there was something wrong, because that's not something that I've ever experienced on a flight before.
And when you felt that, how did the passengers react in the cabin?
A few people mentioned something that, that's not right, something's wrong, etc., and it was evident pretty quickly that there was something seriously wrong, But thankfully, everybody's off safely, and that's the main thing.
All right, so you're in the business class section. The flight attendants are helping, I presume, pull in the door. They deploy the chutes.
Yeah.
Can you describe, if you will, when you're standing there at the door and you see the chute in front of you, what's going through your mind and how it feels to take that slide?
To be honest with you, it's just an instinct. You know that you need to go down the side. You don't really think about what's happening. You're just trying to get off the plane as quick as possible and away from the danger,
And so you get to the bottom of the slide. Was that do you fall off of the slide, or are you able to land on your feet?
The slide that that I was on, due to the people that were in front of me, the slide had moved off to one side to the left. So as I went down the slide, I slid off to the left-hand side and sort of put my arm out to sort of stop myself from falling, so I've hurt my shoulder a little, but it's nothing major at all. But to be honest with you, and as soon as your feet are on the ground, everybody's just running away from the plane, and then you start to look back and you actually realise the magnitude of the damage and the intensity of the fire, and it's just pretty crazy.
We're watching the video that you posted right here, and I was really struck by, number one, how calm the crew seem when they're pointing passengers the way to go, that the passengers seem calm. But I'm also struck by the fact that a lot of people are carrying their rollerboards. They're pulling their suitcases behind them. I'm just surprised that people thought to grab their luggage.
To be honest with you, I had mine underneath my seat with me, so it was just an instinct to grab it and chuck it over my shoulder and come off. You know, some people have their bags with them, and I think those that probably had their luggage under their seat in front of them are the ones that probably brought it off. There was definitely I didn't see anybody have time to open up any overhead lockers or anything like that.
And when you got...
We're moving people towards the exits as fast as possible. They did an amazing job.
When you got to the bottom of the slide, were there people there, officials there, telling you where to go?
There were people there. Obviously, people were naturally running away, but fire crews and safety team were there in seconds. So we were being instructed to move as far away from the plane as we possibly could.
Thank you so much for sharing your experience with us.
Thank you very much.